Hey guys, welcome back to our another episode of Campus to Corporate Placement Story. Today we have a special guest, my friend Subhra Awasthi, who is placed in DBS Bank as a AI DevOps Apprentice. In this video, he will explain his journey, hiring process, interview experience, and some tips for you.
First of all, welcome Subham, and thank you so much for joining us today. Could you please introduce yourself, your college, branch, and how your journey towards DBS Bank?
So, hello guys, my name is Subhra Awasthi. I am from BIT Bhopal University and I am from the branch Computer Science Engineering Board. So, my journey began towards DBS. I was applying for companies as it was my third year, the ending of my third year. So, I was constantly applying for companies for placements and internships. And throughout that session, I got a mail from our placement office on campus that there is a company, DBS, the Development Bank of Singapore, and there is an opportunity of an internship plus PPO conversion offer. So I applied in the link of the college mail, and through that my journey for DBS actually began.
Thank you. Now let's start with the basic. What were the eligibility criteria?
So the eligibility criteria was nothing much. We just had to be in our third year, pursuing our third year in our college academic degree, and the minimum CGPA was 7 CGPA, and currently no pursuing backlogs. So those are the minimum criteria which you should be meeting to be applying for the job.
Okay. Now let's move on the most important part, the hiring process. Could you walk us through the different rounds and share your experience in each?
Yes. So first, after applying the registration form, I got a link for an online exam, online assessment form, which consisted of two DSA questions, and I was given about I think 1.5 to 2 hours for two questions. So it were a medium to hard questions of graph and DB. And I was able to solve those questions in approximately 45 minutes. I was very fast at because I have already solved those questions before, so it was a common pattern for me. So I was able to solve the questions very fast. From on the online assessment, it was proctored from my own location with my camera and icon. So that was my first online assessment round. After that, it took approximately 1 week. Then I got the call that I have been shortlisted for interviews. Then I had a technical interview, which consisted of two technical interview people. The first one who interviewed me regarding my knowledge in basic fundamentals for OOPS, DBMS, etc. And the second person who interviewed me based on my projects and my tech stack. So it was only one interview, but there were two people who took my interview in that interview process. And after that, there was the final HR round. The HR round was very calm and smooth. It was very lightweight than the technical interview. They only asked me basic questions. For example, why do you want to join TBS? And where do you see yourself in 10 years? And what are your expectations? Like that, the basic questions they asked me in the HR round. And these are the only 3 rounds. And after that, it took a while. It took, I think, 20 days. Then I got my confirmation that I have been selected for the DBS program.
Yeah. Could you please share your preparation strategy and the resource that helped you the most?
For preparation, I actually began my DSA, not for DBS specifically, but I have been preparing DSA for the past 6 months. I have been using online sheets. You must have heard a Striver sheet. You must have heard NEET code sheet. So I was personally following the NEET code sheet, and I was doing daily DSA problems, 5 to 6 problems per day, and that was my preparation for DSA. For fundamental subjects, core subjects, I have been following the syllabus from my college. That's more than enough to crack the interviews. So I had studied from the college subjects, and through that I prepared my fundamental subjects for the interview.
अब सबसे मतलब लास्ट सवाल कह सकते हैं, ठीक है? What is the package offer for your role?
So my This was an apprentice program for 12 months, the first 8 months of which were online, remote, and which gave me a stipend of 9,000 per month. And after that, there was a 4 month offline on-site internship, which is 36,000 per month on the location of Hyderabad. After that, when I get the PPO conversion, the final salary, CTC salary, will be 11 lakhs per year.
या ग्रेट। अब एक आखिरी एडवाइस जैसे तुम जूनियर को देना चाहो।
Tips for juniors, I would like to give key focus on your DSA. DSA is very important. You should be doing consistently DSA problems every day, because DSA is a thing which you do not learn over a few days. You need to be consistently practicing your patterns and questions. Do a lot of DSA. After doing a lot of DSA, you will recognize all the patterns. It's not hard after doing a lot of DSA. And for core subjects, do not take any tension. Just follow your college syllabus. That's more than enough. You do not need to dive any deep into any subjects. And after that, you can also focus on your verbal aptitude and normal aptitude, verbal ability, reasoning. Those basic resources you can find online anywhere. So those are the tips you should be following. You should be consistently practicing. That's the only way to success.
और कुछ अगर पर्सनल सवाल पे आए, तुमने जैसे ये ऑफर पाने से पहले कितने क्वेश्चन लगा चुके थे डीएसए के? हाउ मच क्वेश्चन यू सॉल्व?
The questions.
या नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चन।
For DSA, I've been solving for approximately 6 months, and the number of questions does not matter. I'm telling you, the number of questions does not matter, because everyone has a different pace. I personally had a very fast pace, but that does not mean that everyone has to have a fast pace. So for me, I would have completed around 400 to 500 questions.
400 to 500
before DBS came. But that is not, don't take it as a hard number cap that you need to solve these many questions. It may be less, it may be more, because at the end of the day, it's the patterns that matters, not the number of questions. If you learn the pattern in 4 questions, it's enough. And if you do not learn the pattern in 10 questions, then you need to practice 15 questions. So focus on your pattern learning, not the number of questions. It does not matter how many questions you have solved. The more questions only gives you more exposure to how that particular pattern can come in variations. So you can learn variations by doing more questions. But for basics, you just learn all the patterns, and then the basic pattern which can come in an interview. That is enough.
और अगर हम बात करें प्रोजेक्ट की, प्रोजेक्ट्स या
for my projects, I have included my hackathon projects and one my college project. So my hackathon project was a mental health app. So I had included that. It's a very vast project about mental health. It was in React, TypeScript, and it had machine learning also. It had chatbots, etc. So it's a very vast project actually. And for the college project, I had included my college has a project exhibition, so in which we have to develop a project. So for that, we had included app named Drishti, and it was a farmer agriculture app which gained crop insights for farmers. So it was based on a hardware IoT project, because actually a IoT sensor project. Yeah. So we had implemented machine learning, front-end, back-end, and IoT hardware also. So it is also a very vast project, and it helps me explain the real application of my project. So these are the 2 main projects I've included in my resume.
या तो अगर हम तुम्हारे इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंस के बारे में बात करें, ठीक, उसमें प्रोजेक्ट का क्या रोल था? मतलब कितने क्वेश्चन पूछे गए थे तुम्हारे एक प्रोजेक्ट से? लाइक
So in my interview, I was the first guy asked me a lot about OOPS, object-oriented programming, and as I was able to answer more, he was asking me tougher and tougher questions. That's how an interview goes. If you answer good, they will keep asking you harder questions, and it does not mean the interview is trying to, he does not give the hard questions to make you feel down. It is only to assess how much you have learned, and it is actually a good thing if your interview goes for a long time. So my first guy was asking me for the four concept, mostly oops. And the second person asked me about projects. What was the tech stack I used? Why did I use this tech stack? What are the difference? For example, basic question he asked me, what's the difference between HTML and HTML5? Then he asked me about React hooks. Then he asked me how did I implement the backend into my project, and how is the ML model, how it is trained, where implement it, and why do I use this ML model instead of other ones. So these are the basic questions which you need to know the ins and outs of your project, so you can answer in the interview. So that were the questions asked.
या थैंक यू एंड नेक्स्ट हम अगर एक इंटरव्यू की ही बात करें, ओके, लाइक अपने पास एक प्रोजेक्ट है जो है टीम वर्क, ओके, तो उसमें तुम्हारा रोल जैसे था ईमेल पार्ट का, तो तुमसे क्या ये HTML CSS जावा स्क्रिप्ट जैसे पूछे तुमसे जो वेब डेवलपमेंट का पार्ट है, तो अगर तुम उसे आंसर ना करो तो इससे कोई प्रॉब्लम है या फिर तुम्हें ये जानना जरूरी है जो बेसिक उसमें यूज हुए हैं?
द इंटरव्यू में वही पूछेगा तुमसे जो तुम्हारे प्रोजेक्ट डिस्क्रिप्शन में लिखा होगा. अगर आपने ML लिखा है और WebT लिखा हुआ है तो ही वो आपको ML और WebT पूछेगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैंने ML और WebT दोनों लिखा था. सो ही आस्क्ड मी बोथ क्वेश्चंस एंड यस यू नीड टू नो योर प्रोजेक्ट थॉरली. पूरा प्रोजेक्ट में एग्जैक्टली क्या हो रहा है अच्छे से आना चाहिए, क्योंकि इंटरव्यू के पास उसको नहीं पता तुम कैसे इंसान हो, उसको ये नहीं पता तुमने क्या बनाया है. उसके पास सिर्फ एक शीट है जिसके अंदर तुमने लिखा हुआ है, तो वो उसी शीट में से तुम्हें एक एक चीज पकड़ के पूछेगा जिससे पता चलेगा तुम कितने काबिल हो. So that's why you should know everything about your project. And if you do not, like जैसे कि for example, if you did not know work on backend, अगर तुमने backend पे काम नहीं किया और वो तुमसे backend का सवाल पूछ रहा है, then you can just say कि the backend was handled by my team. सब कुछ संभालने की उसमें जरूरत नहीं है. You can say कि backend was handled by my team. I have worked on front end and machine learning. So backend का मुझे उतना idea नहीं है. There is no problem in accepting that you do not know that.
जावा.
So yes.
एंड क्या हम ऑनगोइंग प्रोजेक्ट को अपने रिज्यूमे में मेंशन कर सकते हैं या फिर जो कंप्लीट प्रोजेक्ट है जिसका हम लिंक दे सके वैसा?
कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट को रेज्यूमे में मेंशन कर सकते हैं
या फिर जो मतलब अपना कंप्लीटेड प्रोजेक्ट है उसे ही करना है?
रेज्यूमे में आई सजेस्ट कि तुम वो प्रोजेक्ट डालो जिसके बारे में तुम्हें सबसे ज्यादा नॉलेज हो, जिसको तुम एक्सप्लेन अच्छे से कर सको. जो इंटरव्यूअर होता है उसको फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि अगर कोई थोड़ा सा कम अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट भी हुआ, सो इट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. द प्रॉब्लम इज तुम कितने अच्छे से उसको समझा सकते हो. सो अगर एक बहुत अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट है बट तुम उसको अच्छे से नहीं समझा सकते, सो आई से कि उसको ऐड मत करो. इंस्टेड गो फॉर अ प्रोजेक्ट व्हिच इज लेस कॉम्प्लिकेटेड बट यू कैन एक्सप्लेन इट. बट देयर इज अ कैप. आप बहुत सिंपल प्रोजेक्ट्स मत डाल देना, एक बेसिक कैलकुलेटर मत डाल देना. किसी ने मुझसे एक्चुअली पूछा था कि कैन आई आल्सो ऐड अ बेसिक कैलकुलेटर. डोंट डू दैट. एक नॉर्मल प्रेजेंटेबल ऐप डाल दो, कोई भी वेब ऐप एंड इट विल वर्क.
और अगर हम सर्टिफिकेशन की बात करें तो उसका क्या रोल रहेगा?
सर्टिफिकेशंस जो होते हैं वो आपको प्रोफेशनल सर्टिफिकेशंस लेने हैं. बेसिक कॉलेज, हमारे कॉलेज में भी कुछ सर्टिफिकेशंस मिलते हैं जो कि हमें एक्स्ट्रा प्लेटफॉर्म से करने होते हैं, बट वो प्रोफेशनल नहीं होते. सो काफी स्टूडेंट्स गलती करते हैं कि उनको ही ऐड कर देते हैं एज अ रिज्यूमे में, बट हमें स्ट्रांगली रिकमेंड किया जाता है प्रोफेशनल सर्टिफिकेशंस ही ऐड करो, क्योंकि those are the main certifications जिसमें मेहनत लगती है. फॉर एग्जांपल AWS सर्टिफिकेशंस हो गए, क्लाउड प्रैक्टिशनर सॉल्यूशन आर्किटेक्ट, ये सब प्रोफेशनल सर्टिफिकेशन जिसमें तुम्हें एक्चुअली में एग्जाम देनी पड़ती है, जो मेन होता है. तो these certifications actually benefit you when you are giving and mentioning it in your resume. So I would say कि have some one or two certifications which are good professional certifications which you can add in your resume. It will benefit you in your interviews.
Thank you so much, Subham, for sharing your valuable journey with us.
Thank you so much for the opportunity and for interacting with you. And so subscribe to.
Before we close, let's quickly recap the DBS Bank hiring process. First, we talk about the eligibility criteria. You need a minimum of 7 CGPA in your college and at least 70% in 10th and 12th both. Now talk about the interview process. The technical round mainly focus on ops concept, core subject, and your project. After that, the HR round is pretty normal and conversational. And now we talk about the offer structure. First, we get an internship offer of 12 months. Out of that, the first 8 months are online with a stipend of 9,000 per month. Then the last 4 months are on site with a stipend of 36K per month. Based on performance, you can get a PPO of range 9 to 11 LPA. Okay, so that the complete journey from eligibility criteria, interview, internship, after that PPO. Okay, and if you still have doubts or want guidance, you can reach out my friend Subhra Awasthi on LinkedIn. I will give you the link in the description.